As a fan of League of Legends and Super Smash Bros., I love what each game offers. One of the best aspects is the character variety. No matter who you are, you'll likely find someone that fits your playstyle. With that in mind, what if I took a look at the characters in Super Smash Bros. And turned them into League of Legends characters? And who better to start off with than Mario? The video will be split into a few key parts. What is the character like in their base game, the class they'd have in League, their new abilities, and their playstyle. Also, we're not worrying about game balance. This is all about coming up with a fun moveset true to the character. This is Garrett, and thank you for joining us on GC Squared, since this is our first episode of What If Blank was in League of Legends. We're ready to introduce Mario. What can I even say about Mario? He's Mr. Nintendo, the face of the company for decades. He's known for his ability to jump, launch fireballs, and fight against the powerful Bowser to save Princess Peach. He's been a part of nearly every game genre already. He's best known for his platformers, but he's also had an accomplished history in RPGs, racing, strategy, and even sports games. This gives us quite a pool of movesets and examples we could pull from when rebuilding him for League of Legends. Mario's class, Fighter. Among the main classes in League of Legends, Mario would fit best in the fighter role. He's going to get up close and personal with enemies, wanting to stick to them and deal damage. This will be similar to how he plays in Smash Bros. He has solid moves to help him do a bit of everything, although he's always been best when he's up close and personal. My goal is to make a relatively straightforward moveset that would make him easy to pick up, but hard to master, just like he is in Smash Bros. And in his games. Mario has appeared in tons of games, and I want to reference lots of them. Because of that, we won't really focus as much on Mario's moveset in Smash Bros. Of course, there will be some crossover, but you shouldn't expect it to be a one-to-one fit. With that in mind, let's take a look at Mario's abilities, starting with his passive. For Mario's passive, we have Signature Stash. Mario is known for his beautiful facial hair, to the point where it's identifiable by others. This gives Mario a percentage discount on his next purchase based on his kill participation in a match. This passive would be an excellent nod to the Mario and Luigi RPGs. In those games, stash works as a charisma bonus. The higher your stash, the bigger discount you get at shops. If this is too difficult to balance, or we want to add another level of interest, we could have Mario collect coins around the map. They'll function like Bard's passive. The coins appear on the map, and each time you pick them up, you get bonus gold. Mario would most likely be an item-dependent champion, making it crucial for him to get as much gold as possible. However, I wouldn't recommend the passive having both of these effects, but only one of them. Personally, I would choose the discount version since I like the reference. On the other hand, coin collecting could be a fun mini-game that references the classic Mario platformers. Mario's Q is called Fireball. Mario's next auto attack will be ranged and will shoot 2 fireballs. The first fireball will deal full damage, while the second one will deal half damage. The enemy takes burn damage as magic damage for 2 seconds. Fireballs has been a staple of Mario's games from the very beginning, so it was important to me that we reference it. However, instead of shooting a single fireball like in Smash Bros., it's a double fireball like you see in the platformer games. It would function like Kale's E, empowering her next auto attack and making it range. This makes it perfect for various situations, helping Mario get in some quick damage just like in his games. While he's best at melee range, he does have some ranged attacks to help him. Mario's W is Flood. Mario pulls out Flood and uses it to push his enemies away from his current location. It shoots out in a cone in front of Mario and will push farther based on how long Mario charges it. Mario is rooted for the duration, and he can change the direction up until he activates the move. You can think of this like Maokai's Q. It knocks people away, but it's shaped more like Annie's W, but getting further the longer you charge. You can change the direction similar to Vel'Koz's ultimate, but once you activate it, it'll push in that direction. This is a reference to Super Mario Sunshine, letting you reposition enemies. This makes it great for ganking and even pushing enemies into your turret. They don't call Mario Jumpman for nothing, and that's why Mario Z is Super Jump. Mario jumps in the air, landing on the ground and dealing damage around him. The move also applies a slow, and if Mario lands on someone, his jump's cooldown is cut in half. This will help Mario engage on enemies. The jump is similar to Gnar's E, allowing you to land on enemies, except you land near the enemy afterward instead of doubling the distance. The half cooldown aspect encourages Mario to engage on enemies rather than use it as an escape tool. However, the option is available in dire situations. The jump is not only a reference to Mario's identity, but also to Paper Mario, which has multiple jump attacks such as Power Bounce, which lets Mario jump multiple times as a direct attack. Mario's ultimate ability is Super Mario. Mario eats a super mushroom, immediately growing in size while sitting still for a second. Once he grows, all of his abilities change, providing him more options to take down his foes. He also gains extra armor and magic resist while in this form. After a certain amount of time passes, Mario remains in his super mushroom form until he takes damage. Then he sits still, can't take damage, and returns to his normal size. This move would work like Nasus's or Renekton's ultimate, though it would need to be channeled before activation. This move would reference Mario's appearances in the 2D games, allowing him to increase his size while becoming harder to kill. After his ultimate activates, he can use the empowered versions of his moves until he returns to his normal form. His Q becomes Ice Ball. Instead of shooting fireballs, it shoots one ice ball as a skill shot. It bounces like Zig's Q, but if it hits an enemy, it stuns them. His W becomes Cappy. Mario throws Cappy from his head as a skill shot. It shoots out in an arch like Diana's Q. Then, if it hits an enemy, they're stunned for a bit while Mario pulls himself to the enemy's location, like with Amumu's Q. His E becomes Ultra Jump. Mario leaps into the air, and if he lands on an enemy, he deals damage and stuns them. This functions similarly to Zack's E, but it has less range and only charges for a moment or so. It also gets cut in half if you land on an enemy. Now that we know Mario's role and abilities, we can get a better feel for his playstyle. As a fighter, he'll be able to take on many foes in 1-versus-1 situations. He's also able to go in the top lane or take on a jungler role. Mario would have some excellent potential, but be significantly stronger later in the game. He would be very dependent on items. While the ranged Q will help you early on, you need to know when to go in and fight enemies. Mario would be similar to Jax, having some jumps in CC, but he would be easily telegraphed overall. This would make him a solid pick, but requires you to plan out your attacks and figure out the best time to fight. With that in mind, you can jungle and get solid ganks by hopping over walls, like you would see Zack do. While he would mostly be played top lane, it's also a strong possibility that he would be balanced around the jungle. It would depend on which way people tend to play him. Mario has a lot of potential. With a balanced moveset while still focusing on some of his range limits, he could be a fun choice for players as a League champion. Did I miss anything you think should have been considered? Thank you again for watching. This is Garrett, and we appreciate you taking the time to watch GC Squared. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.